marriage also is sex work.
What's up, guys? It's your girl Rivah, and I am back again with another video. So this video, I had this video sent to me numerous times on my Instagram, which if you guys ever want to send me something on Instagram, my Instagram is at RIVAH_JORDON. But this video is actually sent to me by multiple women on my Instagram, I should emphasize. And there's no way for me to explain or get to the backstory of what this woman said within this conversation. So I'm just gonna go ahead and press play, and then I'm gonna pause and play and give you guys my feelings, my thoughts, my opinions on this entire conversation, and we're gonna watch it together.
But what's really interesting about this conversation I was having regarding prostitution was this came off the back of me saying that the thing people don't want to recognize is, and this is going to be very controversial to say, but marriage also is sex work, because a lot of women, what they're doing is, and this is controversial to say.
Go on,
because
I'm going to hear this. Let's hear this.
In your definition, where you said earlier about prostitution, where like you sleep with a man, you get money, or you hang out with him, you get money. Why I say marriage is prostitution is because what happens is women engage in marriage from a place where, okay, he's gonna take care of you financially, and there's a home for you both to live in. And what you are doing is you're fulfilling a role. So you're going to either be some sort of like homemaker, homekeeper, you're raising and rearing the kids, and you are partnering with him and sleeping with him in the hopes that the trade-off will be that you get validation, love, and upkeep. And the man understands and believes that if he continues to fulfill that role for you, then the arrangement works.
So before we get any deeper into her ideology of marriage also being S work, I want to talk about so many different things, but I'm just going to start off with the obvious. I feel as though, in my personal opinion, that a lot of women who do certain things that are against the grain, they need some kind of validation from others, or they need some other people around them to kind of validate their decision-making process of things that may not be quote unquote okay or respected or respectable. And so what they do is they try to kind of manipulate certain thought patterns, or try to create certain narratives around certain things so that they are able to indulge what they are doing by trying to justify their actions by saying things that are completely contrary to the truth. Okay, I just got to be honest with you. To say that the foundation of marriage is equivalent to S work is very disingenuous. Okay, and we all know that that doesn't make any sense. She's saying that, in the relationship of marriage, or in the confines of marriage, women are doing things in hopes that they are going to receive certain things from you. But there are different types of relationships. Now, if you are a sprinkle girl, okay, and I just got to keep it real. If you are a girl who is indulging in a transactional relationship, you know that what you bring to the table is intimacy, and what he brings to the table is finance. That transactional relationship is indeed similar to S work. The only difference is you're getting it for the long haul or for a long period of time. But if you want to talk about the confines of traditional relationship, where a woman is sowing the seeds of love, compassion, her nurturing nature, taking care of the home, doing all these things for her spouse, and then he in turn is providing love, affection, attention, provision, that is not transactional in the same exact way of S work. Okay, that is not the same thing. Nowhere close. And if we were to be really honest, there are a lot of men who are even in marriages where they are not even getting the intimacy part of the bargain in their marriage. So this, I 100%, 100-fold completely disagree.
Because marriage is an arrangement. Now, why I say it's prostitution is because whilst it's not necessarily on the surface, you're looking for a transactional exchange, there's something that you're for.
But then there's the basis of a relationship. I guess the reason why prostitution is because it's just sexual, it's nothing but sex. So you get the sex, you go. Whereas a marriage, to even get to the marriage, there would have been a build of a relationship, friendship, gone through a few things, families involved. Maybe you might even have kids now. So I think that's why people would be the.
If so, now she went to say from S work to now she actually used the actual word prostitution, that marriage is a form of prostitution. And again, this is all her way of justifying her actions, or the things that she's doing, or the things that she supports women doing, right? And just call those things for what it is. A wife is different than a prostitute. Let's just call it what it is. You are indeed getting paid for your services, right? The only provision you are getting is for what you can provide. And if you cannot provide at a certain level, you are no longer getting a phone call back. Where this woman can rely on her husband, her companion, the person that, as this woman said, families are involved. The whole structure of their lifestyle is considering the two of them. In everything that he is doing, this man is considering this other person. He will literally lay his life down on the line for that person. Whereas you might get caught in the crossfire. He might use you as a shield, because you are nothing more than just intimacy. And let me tell you why this goes even a step further when we talk about the differences between the two, which this should not even be a conversation. But since it is, when men and women are intimate with somebody, the way in which they deal with those things is completely different. When a woman is intimate with somebody, more times than not, the majority of women who are intimate with a man, it is directly tied to her emotions, right? Her emotional capacity. Whenever, especially if a man hits her somewhere, and I mean that literally, if he is, if he drives the car far enough in the garage and he hits the spot, it is directly tied to her emotions, right? Whereas when a man is intimate with a woman, there is, if you have an emotional relationship, an emotional connection, fine. But it is not necessarily tied to such an emotional tie. A man can literally sleep with a woman, get up, and completely forgot that he slept with somebody. Not even thinking about it. Meant nothing. He just had some, build up in him that needed to be released, and he had an avenue to release it. And it meant nothing more than that. Whereas a woman, she's going to be meditating on it. She getting flashbacks. She might start quivering. She's going to be so wound up in that situation because, again, it hit a part in her brain that activated her emotions, her sensitivity, and all of these things. And so she's going to be wrapped up in that situation, again, which is vastly different from a man. Two very different things. And again, if a man is sleeping with you and paying for it, you are fulfilling a need for a moment. That does not make you special. That does not make you somebody that, he is going to want to procreate with. That does not mean that he looks at you and thinks that you are going to be able to be the mother of his children, or he sees a future with you, that he's somebody that, you can grow old with. None of those things are aligned. A prostitute, and now if you said that a prostitute and maybe a sneaky link or a jump off, that he is paying for her to go home, in an Uber he's paying for her to eat, are similar, I would say yes. But when a man decides that you belong to him, you are his, and he takes pride in that, there's two very different things.
People wouldn't understand that. And why I'm fascinated by that is because what people really miss out on in that conversation and in their opposition to the idea of marriage being a form of sex work is once you stop being able to render that service to the man, he leaves you. So, for example, I've seen countless situations where the woman has gained weight after having children.
I can't, sorry guys, I'm going to let her continue, but I have to get this thought out. Marriage being a form of S work, and she's saying once you cannot fulfill those needs, a man will leave you. If we just look at statistics alone, if we just look at the numbers alone, women are the ones who are filing for divorce, not men. Men are staying with women who gain the weight. Men are staying with women who are no longer intimate with them. Men are staying with women who are disrespectful, who are doing the absolute most. Men are staying because of their duty to the marriage and to the relationship. Worse if they have children in the picture. Statistically, it is statistically proven that men do not leave. They don't. Majority of the time, the woman is the one that's making the decision because she is unhappy in the situation. And just think about this. A woman is the one who completely changed, right? I'm just using this for an example. I'm not saying that all the times that these marriages break up that the woman is the one who changed. I'm just using this for this point of the conversation. Think about it. A woman is married to a man. She puts on the weight. She's no longer the image of who he got into a relationship with. She no longer wants to be intimate with him. So the freak that he got with he's no longer experiencing. She's now disrespectful. She has her kindness and her loving nature that she's exuding to everybody else that he no longer is able to benefit from. She's doing all of these things. However, she's completely vastly changed, but the man is still there, staying there in the paint because of his duty to marriage. However, a man who is probably pretty much the same person that you got with more majority of the time, that's the same person that you're in a relationship with. Might be some slight changes here and there, but most of the time who a man is in the beginning is who he is at the end of the relationship, right? He's still the same person. The woman goes through all these changes. The man is staying there. But because you are going through changes internally and you are no longer happy, you leave this relationship and you leave the man high and dry, take his money, take everything when he was willing to stay with you through your changes. Think about that.
And the man has decided he doesn't want to be with her anymore because either her libido has lowered, so she's no longer interested in having sex. She doesn't feel good about herself. She doesn't want to have sex. So that man moves on. Or the woman becomes disabled or becomes sick and needs long-term care from her husband. And he leaves because he can't be asked and he doesn't want to do that.
This is what a lot of these women do. Again, I have to say it again. We can already debunk the theory of all of this stuff being valid because just right off the bat alone, if we look at statistics, a lot of men are in marriages that they are not getting intimacy from their wife. Okay, that's just point blank period. We don't even need to go to, you can Google that and find that out. Okay. The next thing is that she's going to an extreme situation. Oh, what if the woman is disabled, or what if this situation, like to have to pull all these straws from the hat to be able to prove your point about something is already negating the truth in which you're speaking.
And he can't have sex with her anymore. So what I've observed is that once men stop seeing you as the person that can fulfill that transactional need that they want from you, their energy switches up very quickly.
Do you think that's the case majority of the times? So
Unfortunately, majority.
Here comes her being disingenuous again. Okay, just go ahead and cough. The cough is the truth trying to prevail in a situation where you are lying. Okay, you are not being truthful, because she's saying that majority of the time this is the case. Majority of the time these men are leaving these women. Majority of the time it's because a woman is no longer fulfilling the needs. And I have to be honest with you. The part that might come into play is that there is truth that if a woman is not fulfilling her intimate needs with her husband or with her boyfriend or with her partner, that there might be truth that is when your profession, I'm not sure if that's her profession, but by the way she's speaking, it sounds like it is, that's when you come into play. And again, because it means nothing, it's about getting rocks off. But when it comes to fulfilling his duty, when it comes to providing for, when it comes to supporting and caring for his household, he's going to be doing that. He's going to be there. He's going to stay there. He's committed to it. A lot of these women are invalidating marriage because it makes them feel better about the fact that they are not the type who are marriage material, right? A lot of these women, they have a glimpse, and this is just me being honest, and I'm just giving my personal opinion from what I've seen, right? A lot of these women who are in transactional relationships, for whatever reason. Be either you know, you're getting flown out, you're a sugar baby, you are an S worker, whatever it is. The one-on-one connection that they're getting from these men from very short periods of time, very small segments of time, they feel as though they have an upper hand to knowing how to deal with men or knowing how to engage with men. But you are getting this man who is coming to you, who is spending his money from a transaction with you, and he's knowing that you are going to be the freakiest. You know, you're going to put out whatever it is, you're going to turn it up, flip it out, you're going to do all the above because of your form of payment that he's providing. And so you are getting a version of this man who is happy, relaxed, calm, because he's excited that he is going to get this with no apprehension. And again, at the end of this transaction, he's moving forward. He's not thinking about you. He don't want to marry you. He is not thinking of, you know, he might tell you whatever it is, but you are not in a certain spectrum where you are the ideal partner for a man to look at and say, I want to marry this person, unless he is also somehow in that field. That's the truth. And so a lot of these women speak to other women who are in marriages and try to make it seem as though marriage is not all this and marriage is not all that. And me and you are doing the same thing because, again, it validates something within them. That is not true. It's not true. It's not true. What a wife receives from her husband, some of these women will never know what it is for a wife who is truly happy within her marriage to receive from her spouse. You know, when a man is married to a woman, he is also carrying her emotional, the emotional stability of his entire household. When a woman is broken and down and going through something and she goes to her husband and says, honey, I cannot do this. I don't know how to do this. I feel weak in this area. I'm not sure how I can maneuver. You know, the way in which a man is going to provide his logic for his spouse, who he looks at as an extension of himself, is going to be very different from any advice you can get from a homeboy, from a friend, it's not the same thing. The level of comfort he's going to provide for his spouse is not the same thing as a jump off. It's just not. It's not the same thing. And I think that, a lot of women who are in that profession in which they are S workers or, in that kind of field, a lot of the women who know exactly what that is and know how to differentiate are more logical within their thinking. They understand that this man does not care about me. This man does not love me. I'm providing a service and he's paying me for it. I am not his wife. I understand the difference between a wife and doing this. Those women are thinking more logically. This woman is, I'm not gonna lie, this is real off track. And again, it is, in my opinion, seeking a form of validation from other women to support the ideas in which she's bringing to the conversation. I would like, the people in the comment section, and especially the men in the conversation, to let me know if you agree or disagree with this entire conversation. Okay, I would love to know you guys' opinions in the comment section down below. I would love to hear you guys' thought process. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up, and I will see you guys in the next one. Love you.